Not harden.
No.
Hurry.
Mm-mm. Did you take the pink glasses? Did you take the pink glasses ones?
Yeah, I did.
Something popped up.
I
Oh, that
wore
was
'em-
you.
That was me. I wore them at the Century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because I remember one time you wore an amber pair and then you had to flip them up and put them on your helmet the whole night.
You know, they weren't bad. They weren't bad. Still don't. Broadhead at hotmail.com. Oh, I might be sending it to Gmail. Jesus. For those of you tuning in live, this is a total scene behind the curtains. This is what it's like.
Working with Jack.
Yeah. Who still has a Hotmail account.
Kind of a sidebar here, but have you ever noticed on Apple computers, if you really shake the cursor, it gets really big?
It gets the arrow gets bigger. Yeah.
Well, never mind.
That's
what'll happen. You shake it, it
You
gets
shake
bigger.
it. That's right.
enough, it'll get bigger. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But I've done that before, and my students have gone, "Wow, how did you do that?" I'm like, "Well, that's so you can find your cursor."
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Do you?
All the times I'm on my Apple computer. You know, they don't tell you after college, you don't really use a laptop anymore in regular life.
Really?
I find that I don't use it all that much anymore.
Yeah. You're on one right now. Technically, that's a laptop I just plugged into monitors. My old laptop, which if you use the actual laptop, you can't use the letter N anymore. It just stopped working. Oh,
that's YouTube.
Muted.
Oh, I was
Good.
hoping. Should I just start the show and we'll
Yeah.
just figure out if Jack shows up or not?
Mm-hmm.
Probably should. Pat, reach over, hit the record button. Jack's just being Jack. For those of you who tuned in early to the show, you just got a special treat.
Yeah.
Going crazy over here.
3 guys talking about the size of their cursors. 3 guys talking about the size of their cursors.
Yeah.
Hey, before we begin, the summer of Gooder continues for just a few more weeks, you guys. Make sure to grab your discount code of Packfiller15, that's 15, before they are gone. Great fitting, polarized lenses, non-slip frames, and more styles than Sir Elton John. Do you get that reference?
Yeah.
Okay. Use the link at packfiller.com. Be sure to include that special one-time code, Packfiller15. Thanks to the one and only Gooder. Hey, you know what? Let's mention some others. Also, show some thanks to the one and only Scratch Labs, the home for the best tasting, easy on the gut fuel for your ride. This is the time to always make sure you are staying on top of your hydration game. And Scratch has you covered from the subtle flavors of their clear products, which is also a lever of Scientology, but I'm not comparing the two. I shouldn't go off script because I just basically did. To the full hydration punch of Hyper. That's another version of their hydration products, which is like over the top, get you hydrated as quickly as possible. You will make sure to stay on top of things. Don't even get me started on the gels, bars, rice cake recipes, and everything else that Scratch Labs offer. Get to Packfiller, click the Scratch Labs link, and you're welcome. Finally, staying on top of things, feeling comfortable on your bike. How about descending on mixed surfaces? Is the TV fucking making sound effects again? Well, I don't hear it now.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Nope.
Well, I was in the middle of feeling comfortable on your bike. How about descending on mixed surfaces? Well, there's a good chance any difficulty in these areas could be due to improper fit. That's right. Time to call Sam at Ambassador Cycling. You need to get proper positioning to make sure you and the bike are one. Again, use the link at Packfiller. You won't be sorry. Heck, you'll be faster. Ambassador Cycling. Let's do this, shall we? We don't have Jack yet, but we have a theme. Is Jack there?
He says he still not happening.
Still don't. He said still don't, but I sent it to... I don't know. This is, by the way, how podcasting happens when you got people all over the place and you do a live show. So I'm pulling back the curtain and I'm showing everybody what it's like.
Notice it was never this hard for me, though.
No.
Maybe it's just the person
It's
behind
user
the screen.
input.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or a
totally user
generation
input.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm the only boomer here. Yeah.
I'm typing him to say use the link I texted you.
And I'm the only. They would say Zillennial because I'm in between the times.
Zillennial?
Yeah, because I'm right before Gen Z, and then right after Millennial.
I've heard so many terms of what that is supposed to be, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's a mutated thing. You fell into this gap in between the generations, kind of like I did.
Yeah, it's
Like I'm an X, but I'm a really old X, I think, right?
No, it'd be yeah. 'cause
Are you an
you're
X?
the last- I am the last year of a boomer. To
Are
the
you
X.
really?
Yeah. 63 was the shut off, and that's the year I was
Okay.
born.
Okay.
So
Oh, we are live. That is, hey everybody, there's podcast here. We don't usually sit around a bar and talk to each other in microphones, but we just want it to sound like that. This is the Packfiller live from the Rim Break Bar in the one and only Spokane, Washington. If you are with us live, don't hesitate to play along with us either on YouTube through our chat or through our social media channels. We're on all those types of things. Wow, the theme's over before I even got to the end of the intro. Well, we're in the dog days of summer, you guys, between grand tours. We're a little weary from the car versus bike run-ins, late night braille rides, and bonking a few blocks from the home. But we are here. Our glasses are full, and we're ready to talk about it. So let's get to it, you guys. Let's introduce the panel. Gentlemen, welcome.
welcome.
Is the TV doing it?
that was it that time.
What was it, though?
I think it was the TV.
It's delayed. I'm the only boomer here. You see?
Yeah, now
it's
it's
in the
playing
headphones.
it back. Him to say use the link I oh, I figured it out.
There we go.
All right.
Professional.
Generation thing again.
It is. It's a total generational thing. Gentlemen, welcome. And when I call your name, please let everyone know the dumbest movie you've ever seen that you would gladly watch again. I brought
Can we watch again?
what?
Oh, Jack.
We got
Here.
Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Jack, just
Damn it.
what the fuck, man? I send you emails.
Yeah, I didn't get any of your emails, but I did take the link from the text and I emailed it to myself, and then I was able to open the link. So
Okay.
go figure. You don't spell my name right, I'm sure.
JACKBRODHEAD.
BRO.
Oh, you did it.
No, it's not
BROD.
BROD. BRODHEAD.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
correct.
what I spell, Jack.
Ah,
That's all I do.
that's all you do.
Dude,
English major, right?
yeah, I teach English. I don't fuck around with my spelling. I get anal retentive about now. Anyway, so Jack, the question for introduction is the dumbest movie you've ever seen that you would gladly watch again. And this came into inspiration for me. I came up with the question this week because I watched The Gray Man last night on Netflix with Chris Evans and what's his name?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. It was fucking terrible. It was absolutely horrific. I mean, it was just, and I know I'm picking a fight by saying this online because I did it just for fun on social media and I got attacked by some of my closest friends. It was terrible. It was cliche. It was so dumb. It was just, I know that I'm supposed to shut my brain off and just enjoy non-realistic films, but this was just dumb.
I'm really excited to see it.
All right, then. Number one, he's the guy who bonked a few blocks from home, Mr. Paul Main. How are you, man?
All right. Doing okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. I want to hear the whole story
Yeah.
here. Shortly. Movie. You would gladly watch again.
And this sounds stupid because it's a cycling movie. American Flyers is an absolutely idiotic
It's a dumb
movie.
movie.
But
It's
if
a
it
dumb movie.
comes up, I don't search for it. But if it happens to come across when I'm searching, hey, I got nothing else to do. It's wintertime. I'll watch it.
Written by Steve Tessich, the same guy who did Breaking Away. Same
Yeah.
screenplay. Same guy who wrote the screenplay. And he won an Oscar.
Breaking Away was
Breaking
much
Away.
better.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You
Better
go,
cast.
go get him, Beloff.
Yeah.
You go get him, Ginkgo. I don't even know what Ginkgo is. Is it a Russian term or is it just
I don't know.
like a game? I don't know. Anyway, second of all, he's the guy online who pissed himself and didn't mind. Jack Broadhead, how are you, man?
Hey, that almost rhymed. It should be lyrics in a song.
He's the guy who pissed himself and didn't mind.
No, he's the guy online.
Guy online who pissed himself
and didn't mind.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a start.
This
show.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the train wreck shows actually turn out really well, and that's what I'm hoping for. Jack, what's your movie, really terrible movie you would watch over again?
I would have to say, oh man, it's tossed up between Pee-wee's and Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is genius.
Does it still stand up, though? I mean, I don't think it's fair to compare any of
I'm
those
a boomer.
movies, but-
Remember,
Yeah,
of course it
yeah,
does.
never
Yeah.
mind, never mind.
I almost said The Gods Must Be Crazy, but that's
a
genius,
great.
I think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have seen The Gods Must Be Crazy once.
I've seen it about 2 times.
Jackson knows no clue what we're talking about. Third, he's the guy who...
The Bushman. I was doing the.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it.
okay. Third, I was thought that was Jack. He's the guy who needs new cycling shoes, Mr. Jackson Bulger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got pretty shredded in the crash. Yeah, but I'm good. Let's see. The movie that I would pick, probably the movie that got me into cycling was Premium Rush. It's a pretty bad movie.
It
It's
is
a really
pretty
bad movie.
I
But that's
own
what
it.
got me in. Yes.
I bought it for you
Yeah.
back in those days. Yeah.
It's pretty bad, but it's like a bike messenger movie
Yeah.
in New York. It's
Where they make the point that a bike with no brakes is safer than a bike with brakes.
yeah, which is I mean, I don't know. Tell me the difference. I mean, I still got hit by the car. So,
Good point.
Yeah, never mind that. Yeah, so they just slow you down anyway, which is a bad
Yeah.
thing, right? Me, I'm the guy who really fucking despises rechargeable batteries, and I'll get to that sooner. My movie is definitely, and I can't believe I'm the only one who said, I'm the first one to say this, 100% Roadhouse.
Never
But
seen it for one
Really?
good reason.
for what?
It sounds stupid.
It's so stupid,
Uh-huh.
but that's what makes it awesome.
Mm.
Now they are remaking it with Jake
God.
Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor, the fighter.
so funny.
And I can't believe they're remaking it. I really wish Hollywood would just leave fucking movies alone. I mean, when they remade Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp, that was the beginning of the end, because that movie sucked ass. And Johnny Depp, I don't care about your personal opinions of him. He's a creative actor, but Gene Wilder nailed it, man. Just leave it alone. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
Can't remake Princess Bride either. Don't touch that.
Oh my God! If they did
Yeah.
that,
No way.
that'd be sin.
Uh-huh.
I could see it happening when like I'm your age. It's not like that far in
Sure.
the future, you know, where people don't really remember the movie anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But are there? I mean, there
But
are
people
new
always remember
stories.
it.
There are new stories. I mean, for example, The Gray Man, which I did not care for, was about as cliche as you could get as a story. It's like rogue agent who has a job, who does these things, who's now being chased by other agencies and things like that. And so Jack's talking in the background. Jack, are you with us, or are you just
I
doing?
am.
Okay.
Were
I
you
had to
sanding
go
the
tell
floors or
microphone
what?
Shop back.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
okay. So we're doing
trying to
well.
Yeah, this
We're
show-
doing well. Let's get to the past week of cycling in terms of personal, everybody. Paul, talk to me about the ride week. I'm picking you first. How's the training for the time trial coming?
Pretty good. Worked on the bike. Worked on my position a little bit. Hadn't taken it out. I need to tweak a few things. And waiting for some parts. Went out. I had, what did I have? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. And then Saturday I rode. I think was that right? Or I had-
Jeez,
yeah.
I didn't ride with you once last week.
No.
You had 4
No.
days off. 5 days.
And
Shit.
I can't remember what day that, because my days are, anytime I take a vacation, I forget what day it is.
That's the beauty. Yeah.
So what day did I send you that picture? What?
I'd have to look. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Tuesday.
It was Wednesday, I think.
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that one I can't even remember where I was riding, but I was it boiled down that I was dehydrated, and I've never got such a short ride. I think I went up Charles, and then Charles Road, which is a decent climb, and then came around, dropped down 4 mountains, and I'm thinking I just need a Coke. And I'm thinking of all these places where I could go, and I couldn't leave my bike out. Where the places I was thinking, I'm like, I finally made it like 3 blocks from my house. There's a coffee shop, and I go in there and I'm like doing that shaking. Do you have Coke here? Yeah, I'll get you a cold one.
It's like $4
please.
there too.
Yeah,
it's
I didn't care. I didn't care if it's 20. I was. And I just, just guzzled it down.
You sent us, for everybody not knowing what the fuck's going on, you sent the core of us a text with you just lying with your head on the table and a
empty
Coke in front of you.
Coke bottle.
And I was like, where the fuck is he? Oh my God, I recognize that brick. Mm-hmm. He's 4 blocks from his house. I couldn't
make it. I was that bad.
You were that bad.
And then I got on the scale, and then I sent you the picture, and the last 3 digits were 666 on the scale. Because I knew I was dehydrated, so I'm thinking, I bet you I've lost weight, and I have. I was like 4 pounds.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah. So
was it the heat, the intensity of the ride, your life living up to it?
I'm sure the heat had something to do with it. It was pretty warm, but I can deal with the heat really well, and I drank a lot.
Yeah.
The night before.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
I'm always dehydrated then.
Yeah. We got to go farther than 17 miles there to really get that effect.
So I don't know.
I'm working my way up to 20.
You're baby stepping, man. You're baby stepping. I can't say anything. I only rode 18 today, I think. No, I got a full 20 in, but yeah.
Yeah, but I recuperated because Saturday I went out and I did that Troika loop, and I felt like on top of the world, and I averaged by myself 20 miles an hour, which it's been since the last time I was close to that speed on the average, because I think it's over 2,000 feet of climbing on top of that.
And it's about 60 miles.
Yeah, it's 60
right?
miles.
Yeah,
and I rode with Bike Fit Sam. He and I did it 20.1 miles an hour.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I did that by myself. And the winds weren't in my favor this time either.
Shit.
So
that loop is, I
awesome.
Just associate that loop with you. That's always just like, well, today's going to suck. We're doing a Troika loop. Troika is an old time trial. I mean, an old triathlon. Mm-hmm. One of the original.
We didn't have to
triathlons
mention
in
that.
Spokane. Sorry. Yeah. It's a great loop. It's a great loop. Paul, I don't know if you've heard. I saw a post today from the people promoting the district time trial championships that they are desperate for entrants, and they say that with 19 days left before the time trial, that they need more entrants, or they are not going to be able to pull off the race, which is.
That would be typical for me.
It's a common
make a commitment.
It seems like it's a common threat by race directors, and I understand. It just.
Well, I mean, you got the expense. It's a time trial, but the expense of road closures and I mean everything that to promote a race. I totally understand it.
If I had a TT bike, I'd go. But I honestly, with my clip-on bars and standard road wheels, it would be a.
Well, all you have to do is look to see who's registered, and then if you're the only one or top 3, you're gonna medal.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah,
but then
19 people.
Everybody shows up at the last day, and then I end up being dumbass. Jackson, how's your week gone, and how's the post? I don't want to belittle it at all, because I'm talking to you seriously here. How's the post incident recovery?
Yeah, it's been good. I don't have too terribly much time. I work during the day until 3, and then by the time it gets to be 3, it's 97 or 100 degrees. So at that point, it's not really healthy for me to go out and ride. And so I've been not doing that much. I mean, my job I would consider a cardiac workout. But yeah, I rode once last week with you on Friday. And then that was it. And then I got a nail in my tire, so I got to replace that. But yeah, that's been my time.
He and I are riding along, and he's just like, bam! Oh shit! What was that? And he pulled like a half-inch nail perfectly embedded into your tire. Which was just
Did it penetrate through the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, it went
Did
through
it damage the rim? Because I've
No.
had that even on aluminum. It pierced through the aluminum rim.
It didn't
I
go
haven't-
deep enough.
I don't think it went deep enough, no.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken the tire off, but I don't think it did. It was pretty small. It was pretty short, luckily.
We changed the tire, the tube there, but didn't change obviously the tire. And you,
Not yet, yeah.
You didn't have any structural problems there on the way home.
No,
It's not
yeah.
like we were going hard, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
have there been any outside of like road rash and stiffness and things like that? Have there been any physical or even please know I'm speaking seriously, mental
Yeah.
issues dealt with? Dealing with a car collision, dealing with. We get to that point. Sometimes we develop as cyclists. We develop this sense of immunity where we're, I'm invincible. I can weave in and out of traffic. And then when something happens, it causes that. It's a traumatic moment. And have you felt any of that?
Not really. It's funny. One thing I kind of discovered the other day when I was, my fiance and my mom, we all.
What a great thing to say! They took pictures that were adorable. Anyway,
yeah. No, but we went out to like this art show the other day, and I was not the driver, and I noticed that I get really like I start to judge traffic a little bit differently when I'm not in control. And so if I'm not the driver, that's when I start to get a little tense and freaked out at times.
oh, okay.
But when we went out, I was not nervous at all, riding or anything. I knew it never was going to mentally shake me. It was just one of those things where nothing could have really avoided it. But when I'm not in control, that's the thing that gets me a little bit. But other than road rash, physically, I think I'm fine. Sometimes last week mainly, it used to hurt when I would lay on them. My elbow is the worst. If I put pressure on my elbow, like when I'm trying to move around in bed, that's when it hurts. But other than that, yeah, nothing
Still?
too bad. Yeah, I think it was just like bruising.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I can still move it, it's
Yeah.
not, it's not broken. But yeah.
Huh. Okay. Sorry, is there
I
water
think-
dripping? Jack,
Jack's
Jack
doing
is-
something.
Jack, I think you had a water main break in the back here.
I'm texting.
Oh,
He
I didn't know the
text
speaker was
knock.
that. I didn't know the mic was that sensitive.
Jack, you are actually living the life of a cyclist, and it's freaking me out, man. This is like a sign of the apocalypse. Jack is riding daily, and you text us photos every day, and we got to get you. I got to talk to our friends at Gooder and get you some of the big dogs because I don't think you have enough pair in your house. I think you have like 8 or 9.
Well, yeah, something like that. And so the wife's out running in them every day too. So if I could just get pictures of her.
You share glasses with your wife?
Oh yeah.
What?
Wait, it's not like cycling shorts.
That is so. This is not like a Paul's shaking his head
Yeah,
too.
I
You
don't-
agree with me,
no,
right?
yeah, no,
Half the gooders I got from you
What?
are go to my wife, but depending upon our outfits, we gotta pick and choose colors.
Holy shit! That's
This is mind blowing.
it is. And you've been riding daily.
Daily, I've missed last week. I missed a couple, 2 days in a row. Like I think it was Thursday, Friday, because I had subcontractors coming over.
Okay.
And I helped a buddy of mine who moved from Spokane to San Diego a year ago. Lived in San Diego for a year and moved to Vancouver. And he needed help unloading a U-Haul, so I spent half a day unloading a U-Haul.
Oh, you're one of those friends.
So it screwed up my ride because he wanted to do it, early before the heat.
He's one of those good friends.
And yeah,
He's a
so
good
other than
person.
that, I think
Fuck,
I've
I
gotten
hate
like
that kind of shit.
4 rides in this
Jesus.
week, 5 rides, something like that,
You're a person.
and a long ride.
You're a person who would help somebody you knew a long time ago unload a U-Haul.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! I just want to hang up on you right now, man.
What?
'Cause you're just a better person than I am. Because I'm just like going, oh, nope, sorry, I didn't get your text. Who, what?
So
I wouldn't do that
it's,
shit.
the one thing about it, and it's not a long time ago. I worked with him in the field, electrical, and
When
prior
did you work with
to-
him? When did you work with him? Give me a year.
4 years ago.
That's
I don't know,
too
whatever
long.
That is. 18. So, but we've been in contact off and on, and he's a good guy. But anyway, what in his previous life to becoming an electrician, he was a master finish carpenter. Well, I'm about ready to do some finish carpentry here.
So there's an angle. I gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't want to seem too good, but
Yeah.
I did go over there with no expectations to be paid back. But then he said, when I come work at your house, I already owe you a half a day or whatever like that. So
Nice.
Anyway,
Okay. Cycling. Back to cycling.
go.
Me, I will say about my last week, I participated in the most recent, it's a tradition in Spokane. I can't remember when it started, to be honest. Not very long-standing tradition. I would guess it'll probably last 15 years.
Yeah.
An event called the Midnight Century, and it is exactly what it is. It is a bunch of people of all cycling abilities meet, and this predated gravel. Meet at a area pub downtown, and at midnight the ride leaves, and it is 100 miles. Well, it's actually about 94, 96 miles, depending on how lost you get. And it finishes when it finishes. And in past years, it finished at the restaurant of the guy who created it, and he would open early, and you would have breakfast there and things like that. It was really cool. Unfortunately, that restaurant has changed owners since, and because of COVID. And so I will get to the point of why I don't know where it finishes, because my pros, my cons of it. I decided to do it just simply because I needed something to ride. I needed an event, and the course is probably about, I'd say 80% road, maybe 20% gravel. Would you say, Jay?
I'd probably give it more like a 70-30.
70-30? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Great turnout. It was cool to see. A bunch of the local roadie community turned out. The ODZ guys, the Northwest guys, and it was a big group. And
Two-wheeler dealer too.
yeah, and we rolled out pretty fast. I mean, we made it out to the state line. For those who don't know, we have a bike path called the Centennial Trail. It's about 25 miles from here to the border, probably
20.
Maybe 20. We did it in just about an hour with all the stops and things like that. So we were rolling out of here pretty quickly. And it was so cool to see the tradition continue. Those are the positive things I saw. Everybody was really supporting. A lot of positive energy, and some people, I saw at the beginning, I never saw again, because people take 10, 11 hours to do it because they're just fucking having fun, and that's cool. My cons are, I learned a lot about myself again, like I do. I don't mean to turn every ride into a soap opera, but number one, I learned that I hate rechargeable batteries, as I said at the beginning, because my light, when I last did the Midnight Century, made it all the way through. We took a lot longer. Made it all the way through, and this time it was flash on me like it was dying after about 3.5 hours, and I knew I was in deep shit because I had another light, but I didn't have a mounting bracket for it. So my light died, and I was holding the other one in my hand to get myself home. It's the emergency light. I thought my light was going to make it 5-6 hours, but it didn't, and so there we go. So that was my first problem, which made me exit the race in a place that I knew I was closest to home because I'm holding a light in my hand. I'm like, well, I got to get the fuck home. This is not working. You know, my hand was cramping from holding it on the gravel roads and the washboards and stuff like that. And so I decided to bail. And I learned, that obviously I gotta, how do you test for a light battery other than just like turning it on in your house and leaving it on for until it dies? I mean, with a stopwatch. Am I an idiot?
How old was
I
it?
unprepared? 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, they don't hold a charge. You would just assume you wouldn't probably know how long. But,
Yeah.
You know, that's like car batteries you're lucky to get 6+ years out of car batteries. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That sucks.
probably on the same level.
I also learned about aging, and I learned about my night vision, my personal night vision. We got onto some of the gravel sections, and I was like, I had to back off from other riders because I couldn't necessarily make out the texture of the road as well as I would in daylight hours, and I couldn't find the washboards as easily, and so I was like, ugh, and it made me a little sketchy. And then there were other things I found out. And you guys might be able to, either make fun of me. Please do make fun of me. But I got, once again, I got into my head. We got to maybe 25 miles into the ride, and then everything blew apart. And there were I was probably in the top 15, top 12, top 15, and things just started separating. And then it became this, you're in the middle of nowhere with just your little light bubble and nothing. And maybe you can see a taillight up the road. And I got into my head, and a lot of the point of that ride, I was thinking, what the fuck am I doing out here? Why am I doing this? I know for the fact that I needed a competitive edge. And yes, you would think chase the next taillight, that's the competitive edge. But it's so weird when you're just in that little realm of just light that I was at the point where I was like, this is stupid. I caught up to Clint, a really good
Hastings?
a really good local rider, really good guy. And I rode with him for a little bit, and he said he was with the front group, and he was like, I realized these guys are bombing down downhills, and this is stupid because this is the middle of the night. I don't want to ride off into the nowhere and just
Or into a deer.
Yeah. And he says, besides, I got buddies behind me, and that was the moment that I went, I don't have buddies. I mean, there were people I knew, a lot of people I knew, but there weren't you guys. There weren't my teammates. And so I was like, And then my light died. And then I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. And that competitive element left. So I don't know. It was, so I don't know if, I think it's please understand, everybody, that I think this is a really cool event. But I also have a question about my joy of riding at night. If this was a daytime event, I think it would have been different. I don't know. What do you? Am I just a gigantic?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want to dedicate it to. If you go in with the mindset of I don't care how long it takes, I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
Then I think you're probably not going to turn around.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like just you. I'm talking about just in general. But also, you've done it twice. No, 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's really new? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think if this was your first time doing it, I think you probably would have figured out to like, you're going to tie a tube onto the handlebar just to keep your light going.
Yeah.
You know, if this was your first time, but this was your third doing something that you didn't have to pay for. So I mean, I understand it to that point where it's like, oh, it's midnight. Do I want to hold this light anymore? Do I want to do all this?
I was thinking to myself, my God, my wife is at home in bed, and I could just be cuddled up. Oh God! I got home at 5:00, and I slept till 10. I just got home, and she's like, "Why are you home so early?" I'm like, my light died. She went, "Okay, good job." I'm like, "Thanks, hon." And I just fell asleep at that moment. It was just such a wonderful. I was just like, I'm so happy to be home.
Yeah.
Oh. Jack, am I less of a man?
That turned into a beautiful moment.
Eternal
Made it all
optimist
worth
there.
All right. Should we move on? Hey,
Hey,
yeah.
one thing I forgot to mention. So today I went on a ride with an old teammate, Nathan
Yeah.
Margaret, Dr. Nathan Margaret.
Oh.
Yep.
You notice he sent
And,
the pic. You sent the
was a
picture
great
just
ride.
when you dropped him too.
What?
You sent your picture was when you just dropped him.
Yeah.
That was in the driveway.
See, there you go. That's as close as it got to a
Dropped
drop.
into the
I was as close. Yeah. But it was great. It was good to catch up. We're gonna ride again on Thursday. Oh, dude! I just dropped my laptop. Sorry.
Yeah, we could tell.
Yeah.
Sounds
What
like
it
the
sound
house
on your
collapsed.
end? Was there a lot of glass crashing and all that?
Not
No.
so much. Just
Okay.
sounded like Karsten was making food.
I know. So anyway, it was great. Great to catch up. We got still a lot more to catch up on. Just talking about the old days.
Yeah.
But we were headed into Ridgefield, and I gotta say, we're just riding along talking, and this group of 5, I would say retired folk, like 60.
Careful.
I know. And well, anyway, so a tandem and 3 cyclists basically drafting the tandem fucking passed us going into Ridgefield. Nate and I looked at each other like, fuck, we're just like, I guess just talking pace, but we didn't even see them coming. I'm sure they like saw the back of us and decided to blow by us, but it was slightly embarrassing. But
Dude, no.
nothing my pride really wasn't on
You
the
get-
line.
you
But
get-
it was cool to see.
You get 2 people in sync on a tandem on the flats. It is like
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking steam train. They fly.
And
yeah.
get three bikes behind them,
Yeah.
and they were motoring. I mean, we were doing probably at that time maybe like 1920. Just because I know the road's pretty flat right there. There's actually a Strava segment for a sprint into Ridgefield, so they might have been doing it for all I know.
Yeah.
But so it was a really nice ride. Good to catch up. Old teammates.
Good to hear.
Yep.
You guys, let's check the recent headlines, shall we? This segment of the show is brought to us by our friends at Wahoo. From computers to trainers to heart rate monitors to training platforms and even pedals, Wahoo's quickly becoming the most innovative company in cycling. You know what they've got, so get to Packfiller, click away, become a Wahoo-ligan. Let's get to the news. 35 minutes in.
Wow.
We have an ability to talk, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
We can talk. First stories we should put under the umbrella of what the actual fuck UCI is the title of the first 2 stories. All right. The first one under what the actual fuck. Philippe Gilbert has spoken on behalf of his fellow professionals after the horrific crash at the recent Vuelta of Burgos, saying it is time safety topics are taken seriously. Rider safety has been rising up in the agenda in the recent years after an alarming string of incidents, but riders are still being placed in harm's way, according to Gilbert. In the final kilometer, I don't know if you guys saw this, hopefully everybody saw this, of stage 2 of the Vuelta of Burgos last week, a speed bump on a fucking downhill section caused David Decker to crash at high speed and sparked a huge pileup. Gilbert has acted as a representative at UCI meetings and safety in the past, pushing for improvements in various areas, but he highlighted the shortcomings of Burgos, both from the race organizers and the UCI, and they're calling for a change. And I also, I don't know if you guys saw that. I can't believe this is not a show from 365 days ago, that there was an issue in the Tour of Poland again about a pinch point with fucking barriers again at the Tour of Poland. So my question is just to start this topic out, what the hell is up with the speed bump in the final 500 meters of a downhill sprint finish? Who signs off on this? My first question is, should professional bike racers be able to handle something like this? Is this something that is expected, or is this a blatant disregard for rider safety?
I don't know if it's a really great idea to put that in the final of a pretty fast finish already, especially downhill, I don't know if I necessarily see the need for it. I think find a different finishing straight, because I don't think an obstacle like that should be there when they probably aren't thinking about road conditions.
Yeah.
They're probably more thinking about how am I going to pick the line to beat the person in front of me. So I think it was a bit of a mistake. And no, in reality, riders shouldn't have to really worry about that. I mean, I know that it was probably not one of the speed bumps you see in your local parking lot, you know, one of those like steep pitched kind of ones that are just like really jolting. It was probably one like the ones I've seen, you know, in Portland or in like some residential areas that are a bit bigger and a bit softer of an edge to them, but still that's hefty enough at 30, maybe even almost 40 miles an hour.
I bet it was a downhill section.
Yeah,
so it was probably 40 plus miles an hour.
40, almost 50 miles an hour. I mean, that's going to send you into the air, and when you're not expecting it, to the ground as well.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been there.
And they can be removed to an extent, can't they? I mean,
I don't know about that one, if it could be. But the problem in Europe is, not that I've driven a lot over there, but traffic circles and road furniture is becoming more and more popular. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to design a race course, you know, you can't avoid it anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be difficult to really find, doesn't matter what level of race it is, I think for them, that's always the problem. But to me, as much as I like downhill sprints, these guys, and then the speed bump, that's where you have to question. Yeah. And Burgos, that crash, they had this loose fencing that Jakobsen crashed into.
Almost killed
came
the guy.
apart.
Yeah.
And they still are using those fences. Those are my two questions. Like, you know, a downhill with a speed bump, maybe a downhill sprint that's a little more open. Yeah. You can kind of get away from, you know, slight downhill. But you don't want slight downhill with road furniture, speed bumps, that type of thing. Yeah. As a promoter, it becomes harder and harder. Here we're talking about, you know, even doing the TT, trying to get road closures and all that. It's just getting more and more difficult. So you don't really want to put the pinch down, in my opinion, too hard. But, God, somebody's got to take a look at the last, because these guys are rolling out. The last 3K are vital. Yeah. And so that's something that's like, what are we going to do with this speed bump? They'll be doing 40 miles an hour. Now, on the other hand, many people made it over, even after the crash, without losing. I think it was just his grip on his hand. Yeah. But still, he would have never crashed if that speed bump was in there.
Mm-hmm. Jack, at what point in your personal opinion we've got the UCI showing up. They're checking sock height. They're checking, they're scanning bikes.
All the important shit.
Yeah, they're scanning bikes. They're doing all this kind of stuff. At what point, they have experts on this shit. And you know that they saw that speed bump. But somebody, in my personal opinion, was negligent and didn't pay attention to it. On it. Yeah, exactly. So at what point is
the UCI officials, the commissaires of the course, everything would have already slowly driven every course in every UCI sanctioned race, and they felt that speed bump was sign offable, safe enough. But also, there's a lot of recon done by the teams, and I just can't imagine
That's a great
race
point.
radios these days that everybody doesn't know it's coming. And
hey guys, look out! There's a horrible speed bump at 500 meters to go.
Yeah, you hear that stuff, and I just, what would have happened 30 years ago without radios? They probably wouldn't have crashed on that. Yeah. I don't know if it's just a lack of bike handling skills. I didn't see the crash, to be quite honest. But yes, somebody signed off on it and felt like these professionals could handle this and would be aware of it. And I'm sure it was discussed. So the trigger of a crash, like you said, hand slipped off the bar, bad time, just a bad day, created a chain reaction that nobody saw coming. Once people start going down, I don't care if the road's like smooth as glass.
Fucked. Yeah.
You're still screwed.
Yeah.
So, there's some accountability by that, like misjudgment of everybody that reconned the course, everybody, teams, the officials, even the race director, everybody's trying to put on a race. But, it's one of those things. Maybe they had to, maybe something like that, they should have had some flaggers ahead of time waving a flag. Hey, maybe there's got to be a special sign for road furniture. They do it all the time with
they do with the traffic circles. Yeah.
Well, there has been a couple of electronic signs you can see where they'll have an arrow pointing. Maybe they have that same apparatus with its solar powered or whatever, like a speed bump, something that's rounded or something.
Yeah.
They can't remove all furniture. They do for the Tour de France as much as they can. You can see the pattern a couple of times on some of those
where things
stages
are grinded.
Have been removed.
Yeah, they've been completely destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, but they have the budget.
I'm surprised by is it being in the finale that it wasn't removed. If it's out in the middle of a 150-mile race and it's out in the middle,
you see them go over those all the time. Yeah.
But to be in the last 500 meters is my understanding. That's bullshit. I mean, I think that just adds an element of like a cross race. It's like, wait a minute, this is road racing. You don't need a speed bump in the last 500 meters.
Talk to me about a moment where you guys might have experienced something like that, where Jackson, I might be singling you out because hopefully races have gotten better, but you might have something in your head where events have clearly, and let's not single anybody out and name the event per se. I remember an event I attended. For example, I remember an event I attended when I was a junior, where at the morning in the crit, they said to us, "Hey, we didn't expect it to rain. You guys are going across two bridges."
Damn it! I was going to use this one.
Yeah, two bridges that are met. It doesn't happen anymore, so we're okay. Yeah. But where they said, "Hey, if you're going to crash, don't stick your fingers out because the bridges are graded and you'll lose your fingers." And they told that to us, and I think I was 16, and I was just listening, going. At 16, I was listening to him going, "This is absolutely fucked. This is absolute bullshit." That they should have probably, you can't reroute a criterium, but what do you do? So anyway, have you guys come across any situations where you've seen a clear holy shit moment? I can't believe we're doing this. Has anybody got anything off the top of their heads?
I think there was one race where when we were in a park, it was like a little circuit. And you'd race up this hill and then you'd bomb down. It was a public park, but you'd bomb down it at like 40 miles an hour. Just flying.
Public park, mom and kids walking across the street, shit like that.
And it was like a pretty, everybody was really well aware and everybody was watching him, kind of brought a crowd, but still there are some people, not expecting a race. And
this is Portland. Somebody wigged out on meth could be straggling across the road.
Yeah, seriously. And so when
There's a good place for a tent.
Yeah,
let's go across the road.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, open spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you're coming down, it's like you have no time to think about little Johnny coming out because you're going so fast.
Yeah.
And then also when you're coming up at max, you're maxing out as hard as you can go. The road condition was so bad, and there was a speed bump. You round that corner.
Really?
It's like there was one corner that would take us into that uphill section where you would be going as hard as you can, and you'd have to get off, and you'd have to kind of handle the speed bump. When you're going as hard as you can, you have to take in some sort of large obstruction in the road. It's a little bit difficult, and so those two things together were this is a scene that I have not had to deal with before. It was a lot,
but you handled it, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I had one. Well, I can mention the race because it was a local race. What was it? Frozen Flatlands.
Oh yeah.
And we had a TT out at Cheney, and it was delayed by I think an hour because they had black ice. and we think it's all clear, so be careful. I never came across it, but a couple of people hit some patches, but stayed upright. But it's just in the TT, the last thing you want to think about is,
especially in that position.
Yeah.
Oh
you are going to Well, we see plenty of try guys go down that doesn't end well.
It's in their nature.
Yeah.
Jack, any blatant course violations you've seen in your years, and you can't use the Milwaukee one?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything specific. I guess I just drew a blank on it. I've been thinking this whole time, even going last, like what race was I just like shaking my head like this is stupidity. Other than like half of Super Week anyway. I mean, you're in fields of 300
Super
people.
Week was an institution, man. We can't bash Super Week. If you understand what Super Week was. Yeah.
It's insanity, and if you love some insanity, Super Week's the place to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that just being said, whether it's the crits or 350 people in a mass start, road race.
Yeah.
It was insanity at its finest, and it is an institution, and I wish it still existed.
Yeah. I mean, because it was for there are listeners who don't know or in other countries, it was this. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong. It was at least 2 weeks, right? It was at least 2 weeks. They claimed it was Super Week.
I think even going on to 3.
3, yeah. And
it was a very series of road races and crits.
And every
no time trials, no nothing like.
And there was no overall. I mean, it was every race was a race within itself.
It's an omnium with no like best finisher that I know of. Best finisher of. All of these events, some sort of points keeping.
Daytime
it was more
races,
like just
evening
an individual
crits.
race every day.
It was all over the place, and it was just honestly, it is one of the most growing experiences of my entire life, and I mean that in so many ways because we would go and my dad still tells the story. He's like, we sent you to Milwaukee, and you were supposed to be staying with a family, and then you called us and told us you were staying.
College girls.
Yeah, we're staying with some college girls, and in their random apartment, and
right.
Yeah, and
it sounds so much better to say it that way.
Yeah. I still don't know how we got to race from race to race. We had no form of transportation. We just got to races and we'd race, and it was about fucking.
I don't know how
Camelot.
we got to races.
Fucking Camelot in terms of bike racing, where you just went to a race.
Area.
We did. We had some crazy fuckers who drove us.
In Milwaukee, you could do the crits near locally.
Yeah.
Pretty easily from that area.
Yeah.
But there was also Holy Hill was way the heck out there.
It was. And 300 people on a start line. Yeah.
Huh?
You'd
like a
start a
Grand
ride.
Fondo.
You'd start a road race, and you'd look up the road, and you're going like, I thought I was near the top third of the field, but there's easily 150 riders ahead of me.
You can't see the front of the field.
Yeah.
On a rolly hill, on a rolly course.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just pack it in for another day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Was it
you're
total road closure, or did you guys have
It was rolling
Yeah,
enclosure.
rolling
basically.
enclosure?
Yeah.
a 300 man field?
Yeah. Which
Rolling
means
enclosure.
the
it's
road's
like,
closed the entire day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, with how
it's
spread
about
out.
5 minute
crazy.
long field.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then the crits. I just remember crits. It'd be just like you'd be flying, absolutely flying. You're going like, I can't hold on. You'd come across start line and they're like 99 laps to go. Preem lap. And you're just going,
Shit.
Hey,
fuck, no.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? I can't handle this. Oh, God. It was just bleed through your
I think
eyeballs
like Roberto
fast.
Gaggioli.
Gaggioli. I was thinking that same name,
King,
Jack.
King of Super Week.
Yep. Anyway.
Mostly crits. That guy could do
Yeah.
any short road race and crits.
Yeah. And he had the
best
hair.
of them.
And he had the hair. Speaking of UCI bullshit, Marianna Vosp, everybody, was the rider who raised her hands at the finish line of the PostNord Vagard Westveden road race. I made up that accent, and I hope it worked. But it will be the name of Trek Segafredo's Audrey Cordon-Rago, who appears in the race Palmares after Vos was disqualified over a half an hour after the race was won, just before she was about to go to the podium. I hope you guys have heard this one. The post-race broadcast showed UCI commissaire approach the waiting Vos, Cordon-Rago, and Pfeffergorgi, who was third across the line, and started talking to Vos. There was a brief discussion, and then Vos picked up her backpack and walked away. And while the commissar talked to Cordon Rago, who didn't seem to like the outcome of the situation. And so apparently, Vos was in the puppy paw position for a short amount of time, realized what she'd done, switched to the right position, and apparently it was enough for the UCI to disqualify her from the event. She did not argue the decision and accepted the disqualification. And as she said, quote, we'll have to accept their decision. It's a pity, but it's a rule and it's strictly enforced. Usually don't ride in that position. I feel bad about it because I did not benefit from it, but the rules are the rules. Once again, Marianna Vosp being class. I want to talk about this rule, and I want to talk about some of the other rules about what the UCI is enforcing. But first of all, this rule, the decision to disqualify, I'm opening that up. Anybody got something on that?
I mean, I saw how short of a time it was. I don't know if it was really like necessary to disqualify. But I don't know if it's the rule that I care about. I think it's the force in which it is imposed. Just because I think that some leniency needs to be there. I think if it's a couple of minutes, that I understand. But if it's very, very short, I don't know if I really understand that.
It's a brain fart.
Yeah, and I remember when Richard Carapaz, when he did it,
Super tuck.
Yeah, he did the super tuck for a couple seconds. And I remember watching it, and I went, they'll disqualify him. And it was like genuinely, a couple seconds. And I think that, we're also talking about Mickey Shar when he gave the bottle away. It's just all these type of things that they're really trying to hone in on that seem a little like a college teacher that doesn't feel empowered enough at home. You know,
Not speaking from experience.
No, not at all.
No.
But that's a very specific reference. But I feel like they don't feel like they get enough power over these riders, so they feel like they have to enforce the littlest things with the littlest amount of effect. And it leaves fans a little bit perplexed because it's not saving children who are trying to grow up and look at Marianna Vos do it for a couple seconds. That's not going to affect them at all. They're probably not going to do it. It's just I don't get it sometimes.
Well, that's the whole nature of this rule. Is this rule was created because they didn't want little boys and girls doing it on their bikes when they're at home. You know what? I watch shit on. I think I said this in the other show, and I apologize to people who listen to both. But I watch Sword Swallowers on America's Most Wanted or whatever the fuck that show is.
Talent.
And you know what? I'm not going to go into the kitchen and grab a steak knife and shove it down my throat because I see this. The nature of this rule is so those of us at home who can't do it, don't do it. The fuck? I can't ride L'Alpe d'Huez in the speed these riders are riding. So what's the nature of this rule and why does it even exist?
Yeah, I'll touch that, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
I think class act Marianna Vos reacting the way she did.
Yeah. If
you're gonna have the rule, then you have to enforce it.
Yeah.
But why didn't they tell her like as soon as they saw it?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they wait until she's getting ready to get on the podium? What did it take, like a half hour at the end of the race?
Yeah.
I mean, she was involved with the whole finish is based on her. If they would have said nope, you're out. That could have changed
in the race when it
exactly.
happened.
That changes the results completely because everybody's going to race different
tactics.
That's to me the biggest error of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Vos did what she did. She was a class act, reacted right. They're going to have a stupid rule. And to me, like being an inspector, one of the things that I try to do when I look at a code is what is the purpose of the code?
Mm-hmm.
You have to think that. Now, if there isn't, it's just because, or we don't want little kids to stick, things in the socket. I mean, we obviously have things for that called tamper resistant. There's some things that you have reasons for things, but if you're doing it because you don't want people to mimic, that's just idiotic.
Yeah.
These are trains. Well, the other thing is,
nobody got rounded up for the Tide Pod challenge.
You get like Red Bull TV.
Yeah.
And these guys are flying down the mountain at 70 miles an hour. You tell me puppy paws is more dangerous than having people doing downhill on those bikes? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other things out there that in cycling, in different disciplines.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to stop doing tail whips off of jumps during cross races because kids might mimic and they might get hurt?
I don't get it.
You gotta. That's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got upset.
No, you're exactly right. Jack, do you puppy paws or have you ever super tucked?
Oh, I puppy paws.
You do.
But
I don't. Hurts my back.
I'm gonna get disqualified from my 20-mile ride.
Yeah.
But so based on that, I think that's kind of a bullshit thing. I mean, I get where the UCI's got to have some standards, and everybody's got to follow the standards. What totally agree with Paul is the outcome of the entire race from the point that was saw where the officials saw that happen. Again, we have radios. She should have been pulled from the race immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If that is okay, that's one. But compare that to the sticky bottle and it's
God,
at what point do you go, okay, she puppy paws for 20 seconds. She didn't have any gains. She didn't pass me passing somebody on the outside of on a center line of a road. Okay, if you didn't gain anything, then we forgive. There's got to be a little bit of judgment in the field, and why it took an hour for them to go from the incident to the disqualification is mind blowing.
Yeah.
That's what are you, a bunch of amateur?
Yeah, this is the UCI. This isn't.
Officials?
Yeah. This is above.
No, I don't get that part of it. I feel like if they judgment call, official in the car, Phil Miller's going along and he's looking at her going, hey, okay.
He would have called it right away.
Phil would have been on top of that motherfucker.
Yeah. Don't do that again. He'd have warned her. It wouldn't have happened the rest of the race.
He would have a bullhorn too.
And
say, "You're done."
Yeah, you're gone. Yeah. For those of you who don't know who Phil Miller is, go back into the archives of the podcast, and I had Phil on a long time ago. He's UCI USAC Commissar. Is that the right? The Commissar's in town. But
the highest level.
Yeah. He's really fucking good.
Well, he
guy.
knows
He's
knows
really
the
fucking good
rules.
guy.
He does.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his delivery that we have fun with.
Yeah, exactly.
He probably has as much fun with accepting the acceptance of his delivery as you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The guy's a great guy.
I'm jumping about 3 news stories, and I apologize. We're gonna get to some of the news stories on our show next week because everything is continuing. But I do want to get to our topic. The topic of tonight's show, by the way, is brought to us by our friends at Competitive Cyclist. Plates go when you need what the LBS can't get you. That's right. You need to go to your LBS every time. But if you're looking for something that truly isn't available and you're in a rush, get to Competitive Cyclist. Click on the link at packfiller.com. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I want to talk about doping. Yeah, that is Jack's computer chimed in just at the right time.
No, that's my phone.
Well, okay. We're coming off the fastest Tour de France. We are absolutely amazed with the performances there within. We saw one of the most dominating performances in the most recent Tour de France Femmes, and not just one rider, but many. And we've been bitten before. We have been bitten a lot as fans of this sport. Yet we keep coming back. So let's address the elephant in the room. And I'm going to be blunt about this. Guys, everybody out there, is doping gone?
It's a really tough question to answer there, I think that I think that the traditional doping of what we saw during the Lance era is no longer around. But I think that there is always an extra edge to find within sport, whether it be nutritionally, training wise, genetically, a lot of things can change. We did see some performances that seem a little inhuman during the Tour de France that make some people, including myself, go, take that.
Shit.
Yeah. And it, as a cyclist, it's never out of your mind, especially when watching. But I think that there could be some sort of, there's probably some sort of performance enhancement. I don't think that it's necessarily, whether it be illegal or not, I don't know if I'm willing to make that call, but there's always an edge to get ahead of your competitor.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave it at that.
You're saying that it's not necessarily using illegal substances, but
I don't know if it's illegal substances or if it's using excess of legal substances.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's a tough call to make because I'm not on that track, and everybody's saying right now, it's clean. UCI hasn't found anything, and I hope to trust the people that are in charge.
Paul, has it gone away or has it just simply evolved?
I think there's, like Jackson said, there's always, whether it's microdosing or something that they found possibly, but that's in all sports.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing,
Mm-hmm.
baseball, whatever. They're always trying to find a way around the procedures. There will always be, when there's competitiveness, there's always going to be somebody going to try and cut the corners. But I lean, because everybody's focusing on Wout for one.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing, but also, how can he perform like that? And then the speeds were the highest ever. And I'm going to approach that, and we've had this talk before. Yeah. I think a lot of people are basing it off the speed. Well, I watched the 86 Tour de France when Le Mans won today when I got home from work, and they had 23 stages. They didn't have the rest days.
Yeah.
The stages were 6 hours in the mountains, 6-7 hours. They didn't have that. They're shorter technology, and I can guarantee you, like Hatch Hill around here,
Mm-hmm.
in my prime, I was way faster at 48 than I was at 27 at my prime.
Yeah.
Because my bike was 5 pounds lighter. The equipment was better. I had more gears as opposed to, instead of 7, I have now, at that point, it was 10.
Yeah.
So they're closer matched, So I think people are not taking that in consideration, that technology has pushed it. Diet is a huge, huge thing. And I can experience, I've experienced that on my own. When I eat like crap, my performance is bad.
Yeah.
Now they've got everybody figured out, because we're individuals with Super Sapien. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Glucose monitor,
Yeah.
which is illegal to use during a race, but you can train with it. But like, they're finding different people, like, I should be eating now. I used to wait till, so there's
dinner time.
Yeah.
kind of
Or
thing.
even
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
ride.
yeah.
It's like, this is what I need to take. I've been taking gels at the wrong time. I need to take it like an hour after when I think that I need, or blah, 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 blah. So
Wow.
they're really tuning things in. So I'm always going to champion cycling, and I know how filthy all sports are. Yeah. So,
I honestly kind of designed this topic based off of that response, because I was hoping you were going to bring this back up, because I was working on an old mountain bike yesterday, and it's a steel frame, it's 26-inch wheels, and I was going, this used to be my racing bike, and it weighs more than my current mountain bike, even though my current mountain bike is outdated.
Front suspension.
Yeah, it has front suspension, but I was thinking about the performance advantages of that, and I was just going, this bike is so much slower. It's a great bike, but it's so much slower. And when you said to me that, at age 48 you were beating times that you did in your 20s, it just shows how far the sport has advanced and how far it has grown, and the science behind it. I don't want to, I'm sure there are people who are going to say, they're fucking dope, they're dope to the gills, but we also have to take into account how we've evolved in terms of the science and the study and things like that. I remember hearing, I can't remember who the writer for Jumbo Visma was. You guys can probably tell me who it was while I'm saying this story. Talking about the fact that his performance increased so rapidly with moving to Jumbo Visma simply because the moment you show up at the team, it was Christophe Laporte, about the fact that there was so much science and so much focus.
Altitude training.
Yeah.
They're going altitude camps.
Yeah.
And even the, like diet. I mean, we used to believe, or even training, we talked about feeling guilty. We rode every freaking day.
Yeah.
Now rest, realizing
It's
that
bugging
rest is a huge
it's still making me crazy that I technically shouldn't ride.
But
every
now with coaches and stuff based on your physiology
day.
of individuals, the thing is some people need more rest than others.
Yeah.
And so I think it's become more of a science, and that's what's created the speed.
Now, Jack, this one's for you. I've been in discussions with people who actually say, fuck them. Fuck it. Let him dope. Would you be okay with a dope to the gills Peloton? Would you be okay with that, or would you? I mean, how long can we as cycling fans be bitten by knockdown?
Yeah, I'm certainly not okay with dope to the gills.
Yeah.
The racing is best when the field is level, the playing field. So in the Lance Armstrong era, I feel like the playing field was fairly level.
Yeah.
Everybody was doping. And Nate and I were talking about this on the ride today. The outcome, if you took away all the drugs for 7 years, the outcome probably would have been close. The detail to training, EPO, if you look at it, it's like EPO and a steroid will make you better, recover faster at training.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out and you train harder. That takes a lot of drive. The winners don't, they already have that drive. The losers, the guys that aren't, they're Packfiller, they're not driven like Lance. So it's yes, the drugs make you faster, and yes, the average speeds go up, but it still takes the guy that's going to win the tour because second place is doing the same thing. He's just not quite as driven as first place. That being said, if they clean up the sport, which I feel like it's cleaner, but I mean, science and doctors haven't changed. Dr. Ferrari is still probably out there, building up the next cycle of micro doses, like you said, that will be enough. So things have changed and maybe not detectable. And that's where EPO, it came in, and it's just not detectable unless you really get into the hematocrit levels and the hey, this is unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to create a track record for that person to determine that it's untrackable or unnatural.
Yeah.
So science is 10 steps ahead of the UCI and the World Doping Association or World Anti-Drug Association and all that. So
USADA, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's clean, but some of the nice things that were said are that training and diet and knowledge have increased immensely, and I fully agree with that. So, maybe average speeds are going to be, tour speeds and such, stage speeds are going to be higher because of not only the knowledge of diet, rest, good training, altitude training, and all that, but unfortunately, there'll still be a little bit of that dirty, and because everybody's looking for 2%.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for 5%. and you get greedy, and that's when you get popped. So I think the riders are probably more scared, but technology on all aspects is really, really increased since even the Lance era.
Well, you mentioned having a baseline for a person. I think they still do biological passports.
Yeah,
So
they do.
Yeah.
that way you can see that variation.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's going to figure out a way around it. But I mean, I think cycling as a whole, we bash the UCI and the whole drug thing quite a bit, but I think they really are.
I wouldn't want the fucking job. Don't get me wrong.
If there's any sport that works harder to stop doping, it's cycling.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it is probably
Right.
the toughest sport, and that's why there's more doping in it in order for recovery and stuff. So,
And to even have a history for a baseline. I mean,
Yeah.
you might be a cyclist for, a pro for 3 years and have all this, great accolades and be out, like, oh, knee injury, I'm gone, but so you've got to create a pattern of, a history of 3 to 5 years where people are being at the top level, because unless you're creating that at the neo-pro level, you don't know where people naturally are starting. So
Jackson, does it ruin the sport for you if riders get caught? I mean, again, we keep coming back to the sport. We keep falling. We love the sport so much. And I guess, do you condone the riders who dope, or at least can you empathize with the riders who do this because they just want success?
Everybody says like either you dope or you don't get to pay for your next like rent or whatever. But nowadays with the top riders, that's not the case. I don't think Tadej Pogacar is really struggling to figure out whether or not he's going to pay his rent or Wout van Aert's not going to be able
Bill's not going to get shut off.
I don't think these guys are really worried about that stuff anymore. So at this point, it's like, I don't know if I really empathize with it anymore, especially after what we've gone through in the decade ago at this point.
Shit.
Yeah, right.
It's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think I really empathize with it, just because it's like the money's not really a question about it anymore. It's not like you don't have a choice. It's just that's the choice that you wanted to make to be the best. When, I mean, I and that's not me saying that anybody is doping, but I think that if they are, I don't think that's an excuse anymore. And so I don't know if I do not condone it, just because it's. I mean, it's a sport where it should be even, and I think that now that we're seeing a lot of contenders coming up through the ranks, I think that this is probably the cleanest we've ever seen cycling, just because it's not that out and out winner anymore. For a while there, we thought, oh, this is a Pogacar game to be won or to be lost. But now you don't know about every race.
I just keep thinking about, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything. This is a hypothetical situation that has popped into my head. I'm thinking about a rider like Thibaut Pinot, where you've got the skills, you've got the gift, you've got the talent, you've got the genetics, but you're 2 to 5% away from a podium of winning a Grand Tour. And somebody looks at you and says, yeah, your back's bothering you, but if you take and this is Morpheus looking at you in the Matrix, and he's looking at you and you say, you take the red pill and you're a Tour de France champion. You get caught, you're fucked for the rest of your life. Would you, as somebody with the incredible gift and talents and charisma of somebody like Thibaut Pinot, would you say like, yeah, I'm gonna take the pill. I want to be that. I want to be the first French fucking champion of this race. I mean, it's so hard for me to bash these guys, especially from the years of my cycling life where I've gone, I would have done anything to have been a great bike racer. And then to have found out at the highest level that it was just because of a DNA strain of my parents that I can't be the best bike racer in the world. Fuck, that ripped me to shreds. I'm not condoning doping. I'm not. But I am saying that after a specific amount of time and drive and focus, I can understand why these guys would do it. Does that make me a bad person?
I don't know. To me, I that would never be the angle that would get me.
Yeah.
Reading, what's his name? Joe, whatever it's Dog in a Hat.
Friel?
No. Plant. It starts with a P. He wrote a book called Dog in a Hat. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a mountain biker
Yeah.
later on. And
Yeah.
stuff. If you haven't read that book, read it. It's that opened my eyes to, somebody from America like me, and I've mentioned before in the show that I had an opportunity in 1988, to go over there. There was I had friends, family, everybody had everything set up for me. All I had to do is say, I'm going, see you, bye.
Yeah.
So in 88, that's when doping really started launching. What if I'm struggling? This is what Joe puts himself in, and nobody goes over there to think I'm going to dope.
Yeah.
You're going to do it naturally. And that there's doping going on, but you're not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm alone. I put myself in it. I'm 26 years old. This is my chance. This is my big push. I've got, 25, 30 people supporting me across the sea, Atlantic Ocean. And I'm on a team, and somebody approaches me. He's like, you're in a breakaway. And this is what happened with Dog in the Hat in that story. Listen, we got 10K to go. I feel like I'm coming off the rails here. I just can't hang on to it.
Yeah.
Hands you a bottle. Take this with 5K to go. Throw the bottle away. You'll be okay. You have that. You're in the heat of the moment. You're getting your best results ever. He takes a drink, and I saw myself. I probably would have pushed that. I'm 26.
Yeah.
Everything is behind me.
Yeah.
Again, not condoning, but what would you do at that moment? Mm-hmm. That's the gateway. The thing is it took him he felt guilty. In fact, he felt too energized that he didn't even charge the sprint because he thought, I know I'm going to get tested. I got to be 4th, 5th, or 6th in this breakaway because I'm going to get popped. Because he said he felt the tingling. So, if you read people's books, and I'm going to add one more, Brian Holmes, who's a great director. He's from Denmark, and he's at Quick Step. I think he's still at Quick Step. Yeah, I think so. He might be somewhere else. But anyway, he wrote a book, and he said, this is the only thing I'm going to say about drugs. It's kind of like smoking in the 70s. Yeah, we knew it was not good for you, but you did it anyway. And he goes, it wasn't to win. It's like for him, it was a situation where, I'm not feeling good today. You knew you go to your doctor. I got to survive just one more day. Here you go. Take this. Would you have done that? He wasn't a winner, but he was there to help.
Mm-hmm.
So, that opens a whole it's not like this magic silver bullet to make you win. Sometimes you have so much invested in your life to go over there and race. It all ends right today, or you just get over the hump. I just need to get over the hump.
Yeah, that's a great point Paul's making, because it's not just Lance. It's not just the stars or the winner. It's everybody to keep up and do their job. And if, unfortunately, the pressure to do your job, pay the bills, finish the race for some of the domestiques and super domestiques in the Lance era, if you're not on the same stuff Lance is on, you're not helping, and you're going home.
Yeah.
And if your career's on the line like that, it's crazy, because we were on our ride today. We were talking about the same subject. I don't know how this it must have just channeled through the
great minds.
Yeah. So, but it's weird. I'm like, wait a minute. Why weren't we offered drugs? Like, we were racing with guys that we now know were on drugs, and it's like, our directors sucked. Like, why were we not offered drugs? I'm not condoning drugs.
No,
at
that's
all.
funny.
Yeah.
That's we'll give you the comedy there.
But you
But
know
my
what?
point-
Well,
my
I
point
just
is
know that
it created a big unlevel field here in America, very much. But the Europe side of it, it's like if you're going home, if you're an American rider in Europe and you're going home, if you're not keeping up, then I would have.
there's
Oof.
real quickly. There's two friends of mine who went over to Belgium to race and make it in the pro ranks. Teammate of yours, Mike.
Yeah.
And then another guy that I knew fairly well, Nicholas. They both came back when it came to that push came to shove to make that decision. They came home, and both of them don't touch a bike today because it was drugs or nothing. And
Wow.
after reading these books, I'm like, I would like to think that I would be doing what they did and just pack up and go.
Yeah.
Mike even talked about he had to leave his apartment and his roommate, and he thought about it for a while, packed up his bags, and sat at the train station to get to Brussels to fly home. He had to buy a one-way ticket. He was done.
Yeah.
He made the decision right in there before
I'm
the
sure
season
it's scary
started.
as shit.
Yeah. So if
Look
you
at
put yourself in
bodybuilders
that
and
situation, I mean, as a young person, and all of a sudden you do get on the program, you start doing drugs, then
It's a game.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody's on the same level, right?
Yeah.
Now you're competitive. Now you're now here at the level that everybody else is. So
It's a tough.
it's huge.
It's a devil at the crossroads.
Yeah.
It's what it is, and
Mhm.
it's and I don't want to. I am in no position to judge the people who have done it because I know I probably know why they did it.
Mhm.
I don't condone it,
Yeah.
but I understand.
Almost everyone who's done it regrets it.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single
Oh,
one
yeah,
that
I
I've
could
read.
imagine.
Yeah.
You guys, should we finish with some fun?
But that wasn't fun.
That was fun. That was fun. But let's
Man,
finish
I'm
with some
bummed
fun.
out.
Yeah.
The fun is brought to you by our friends at Athletic Brewing. You guys know what Athletic Brewing does. Non-alcoholic.
Jeez, it sounds like you've not been drinking it.
I haven't. The flavor gamut is there. Use the link at Packfiller. Would you rather, gentlemen? We're going to play a good old-fashioned
Would you rather?
game of Would You Rather.
Do drugs or not?
Do drugs or not? No. These are bullshit would you rathers. These are 100% bullshit would you rathers. Number one, and you got to be kind of fast about this because we're 125 into the show. So, Jack, you sound like you're wrestling a cat. Anyway, would you rather ride a Fondo on a mountain bike or ride a gravel 100-miler on a time trial bike? Jackson.
Probably the Fondo on a mountain bike.
Fondo on a mountain bike. Paul.
TT gravel. That'd be a blast.
the chatter bumps
Absolutely.
on your
Oh,
elbows?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
like that.
Jack,
Mountain bike.
mountain bike on a road Fondo. Okay, would you I would probably do the Fondo on a mountain bike. Number 2, you're completely out of water. Would you rather have malt liquor or rosé wine? Jack.
Is the liquor cold?
We have to assume both have to be cold.
That's a
Yeah.
great question. Let's say both are cold.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a great question. That's actually a
malt
really
Yeah.
You'd malt liquor it. All right. All right. Jackson Bulger. This is going to be an interesting question because I know what you're going to say.
Probably rosé.
Yeah, because there's no way you don't drink beer.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also I feel like a lighter substance as well.
Yeah. Paul?
Where's the rosé from? No. What region?
Washington.
Depends. I'd probably go with the
Thunderbird.
rosé. I do not like. I hate cheap beer.
Yeah.
I really absolutely hate cheap beer.
Just dying of heat. You
I
slam
was thinking
back.
of Sam.
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I would probably do malt liquor myself.
Ugh.
I would.
Heavy.
50-50 on this, I guess.
Yeah.
on that one.
So would you rather wear tube socks or no socks on a ride? Paul Maine.
Shit. Tube socks from when I was in high school,
Yeah.
where they went up to my knees.
Yeah. They got to be tall.
Yeah, I would do that.
Jack Broadhead, tube socks or no socks?
Tube socks, but I'd roll them down.
Cheater.
A little play in the game there, Jackson.
Yeah, probably tube socks. I feel like the blisters from no socks would be way worse.
Remember the trackies who rode without socks?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'd probably
30
tube
seconds.
socks it.
That's like 1 minute.
Would you rather ride in a wool jersey or a day glow sleeveless skin suit? Paul.
Easy wool.
Wool.
Yeah.
Jackson.
You didn't specify the current type of wool, so I'll take a current
Retro
jer-
wool. I'm talking
I'd
retro
still
wool.
take wool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack.
Well,
I would too. Yeah. Would you rather ride a sheepskin seat cover or a third eye on your helmet? Jack. What?
who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, third eye all day.
Third eye?
Third eye.
You would. Third eye?
I don't know if I want to be seen with.
They're pretty cool.
I might do a sheepskin.
I might sheepskin too because you can't
I worked at a
see.
bike shop and they
Crazy.
no, not
Are they funky?
yeah.
Oh, they get pretty
Yeah.
pretty ripe.
I think Oakley makes a third eye now.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, it's those stupid fucking glasses that bend over your nose.
Yeah.
Would you rather train for a full year using a pork or diet or train for a full year only using dairy products on your ride? You can only ride, and the only things you can eat on long rides are either pork or dairy. What would you choose?
Because of the phlegm, I'm going with pork.
You're
And I
going with
like
pork?
both. Yeah,
You're going
I
with
love
pork. So like
both.
bacon and
Sure.
okay,
pork
sliders?
chops, 'cause, you know, little
Pork
chip-
chops,
yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Pork
dip-
loin.
little dip
Yeah.
and sauce.
or pork roast, just shredded, or pulled pork. Oh,
Right.
that sounds
Yeah,
good.
Jack, you obviously agree. You're a pork fan.
Pork, yeah.
Okay,
I
Jackson.
love dairy, but
Yeah.
If you've ever,
Cheese? You wouldn't do the cheeses?
Well, not on a
cheese is
ride.
awesome.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I would do pork.
if you've ever really felt the weight of what dairy can do on a digestive system, one pork's way better than
So
dairy.
we're all with
Wow.
pork on this one. Would you rather have to go on every ride with a Let's Go Brandon jersey, or
For fuck's sakes.
or have to flip off every cyclist you see?
Let's go, Brandon.
You're wearing the Let's Go
Yeah,
Brandon.
I'm not gonna flip.
You don't want to kill your local, your group, your people. You don't want to flip them off.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jackson.
I would just scream as I'm going by. It's a joke, all right? It's a joke.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Satire. Yeah.
I think if you flipped off every cyclist that you went by, it'd be kind of funny.
After a while.
I never expect that.
Most
from
of
you.
them
Yeah.
don't.
You got a good point.
Jackson,
that
yeah,
would be.
Yeah, but just do it like kindly.
Yeah.
You know, like
Hey!
make
With
a
a big
funny,
grin.
make a fun face. Yeah,
Fuck
I think I'd
you.
do that
Yeah.
because it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Jack, let's go,
I
Brandon.
fully
or-
agree with Jackson. That
Wow.
Best answer.
that is the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jackson wins that one.
There we go. I'll take
Would you rather have a chamois made of cardboard or chamois cream made from jalapenos?
Wow, that's
Jack.
Ooh.
it. That's both terrible.
Yeah.
I'm down for the jalapeno chamois.
Are you really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any sores, it'd probably be bad. But
Oh.
I don't got sores.
God.
Or a body.
Have you ever cut up jalapenos and then gone to the bathroom?
Well, my fiance cut up some jalapenos and her hand was burned, like
Yeah.
severely burned
How do you
the
know?
rest of the night. How do I know? Because she felt it.
Her hand was burned.
Oh.
I know you tried to make a sexual
know.
joke there,
Yeah,
Jack.
I did.
And that was a good attempt,
Yeah,
man. That was a good try.
Too innocent.
Cardboard or jalapenos? Paul?
jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Yeah, they get it numb down there a little bit. You know, you could ride forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack.
Son?
Oh, I said jalapeno already.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Jackson. Did I pick you? No,
Uh-uh.
you didn't pick.
Yeah, I think I'd take the cardboard because you can loosen up cardboard, but you can't
That's-
loosen up your own skin.
It
You
would
can water
get
down
soggy.
cardboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
gets
what I'm
soggy
thinking. It
and
wouldn't be
stuff.
so bad if it got wet.
No, it'd start
Huh?
reaching into it like giant balls of
Yeah, but
cardboard.
just-
Not as
yeah.
entertaining.
No, that's true. Entertainment's important.
When I come up with these, I never thought I'd get into this discussion with you guys, and it makes it more enjoyable. 2 left. Would you rather never be able to ride over 20 miles an hour on a ride, or be forced to always maintain 75% of your max heart rate for every second you ride? So, in other words, your choice is the second you leave your house, you have to be over 75% of your max, or you can never ride over 20 miles an hour?
75%.
You're 75?
Oh, yeah, easy.
You're just like go balls out
yeah.
for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Okay, Jack?
That's how I ride.
Yeah.
That's how I like. I
I'd
usually
soon be there.
every time I go to my Whoop app, they're like, "Oh, for most of your ride, you were 80% over your regular."
Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
You're going a little too crazy.
Yeah.
Jack,
Same.
which one?
75.
75?
75.
How about you?
Everybody else said 75.
You were going to say 20, aren't you?
No.
Well, I do
I'd,
that right now.
I'd probably take the 75 because I enjoy that more, but I would miss out on the soul rides, as Jackson calls, you know, and I love the soul rides where you get to go just kind of casually and slower, but yeah.
You got to learn to make
75.
75 your soul ride then.
Yeah. All right, last one. Would you rather have every dog on every ride chase you or every truck roll coal on you? Would you rather have every truck that comes by you roll coal or every dog you see full on chase you? And it's ironic that Bender was barking before I came up to this question. Yeah.
I think I would rather have every dog chase me because you can just squirt them with water and they run away.
Okay.
But
Or bash them with your pump. I remember
Yeah, it's
Bruce
a good
Hunt did
reason to
that,
get beyond that 75%.
Yeah.
Then I'm
So
going to
you're
go up to
outrunning
100.
dogs.
Yeah.
It's sprinting with Eddie.
Yeah.
There's
That's
your
right.
movie reference.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
one can,
He's a bastard.
Yeah. He's the son of a bitch.
Oh, son of a
wasn't he?
bitch.
Son
Yeah,
of a bitch.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
one can kill you, the other one is kind of cute. When a dog's hurtling, when a little chihuahua's coming after you, like it's kind of adorable because it's like what fight are they really gonna put up, you know?
I had a 3-legged pit bull chase me.
Really?
Yeah.
Hauled ass.
Yeah, he went down this
Those fuckers
drain
lock
ditch,
on. You're
and he,
screwed.
Yeah, he was chasing, and he went down this drainage ditch and rolled. And I started laughing, set up, and he came up, and I saw slobber.
He's like,
and the
you're
flames
fucking
of
mine
Satan.
now.
Yeah, and I went, oh, fuck. He was coming hard. Yeah. I was over 75% effort right there.
Yeah.
I hadn't even turned the cranks yet.
So you would.
The thing about the dog would be that'd be my choice. But the thing about the rolling coal thing is there's always a stoplight ahead.
Yeah.
And
What
Not
do you
where I
do?
ride.
But what do you do when you come up to the car? You're just like going, "Hey, fuck you," and then they shoot you. I mean, there's no winning against the people who roll coal on you. They're twats to begin with.
I have a coal rolling story I have to share.
Please.
So I'm going down Government Way, and I can hear I can hear diesels from miles away. Yeah,
Yeah.
And that slow down, he's just kind of coasting up, and then he hits it,
Oh yeah.
and no coal came out.
Mm.
And I thought, I bet you the
impotent
guy
little
that's
fucker.
like equal. It's got to be equal to whiskey dick. You pick up a
Exactly,
girl
yeah.
at a bar or something, and you're thinking you're hot shit, and then you can't get it up.
Can't get
That's
it
what
up.
happened.
That was a roll call.
And I was laughing. I mean, I visibly was. I had to take my hands off the bar. I thought it was because I could see his frustration. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. So
I sent you guys a text earlier in the week about, and I'm not going to repeat it, but if you ever want to know about the assholes who roll coal, look it up on Urban Dictionary. It's a very
Pretty
funny
good.
term.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty over the top. Did we get everybody's responses?
Yeah.
You take the dogs. Paul, you take the dogs. Jack, you take the dogs.
And you?
I'd probably take the dogs too because it's just dogs are controllable. Assholes in trucks
they're
aren't
just
controllable.
doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I think we've solved the world's problems,
Yeah,
even
we
though we
did.
missed about 2/3 of my cycling stories, because we have a tendency to ramble on.
We had a slow start.
We did.
Yep.
Well, that was just before we went on air, trying to get everything figured out with Jack.
Yeah.
Jack, how long's the house job going to take?
House job. I'm thinking mid-September,
Oh shit.
but
Okay.
yeah. So we got a little time left. I'll be over in Spokane. I think a week from now, and I will be bringing my bike. I don't know if I'll get a chance to ride in Spokane, but we're gonna be 2 days in Spokane, and then I know,
Yeah.
and then I think 3 or 4 days in Bend, where I will be riding my bike for sure.
Yeah, I
'cause
know
I'm
what you're going down there
free
for.
ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then back to Vancouver after that. So I kind of almost have a week off. I mean, in Spokane, I got to work, but I may get in a ride. So if you guys want to like meet up for a ride or something, I might be able to keep up.
No, it'd be good. It'd be good. I think it'd be good. Anybody have any events in the future? Jackson shook his head.
TT.
Paul's got the TT.
As long as it's going to happen.
You guys, if you're in the state of Washington, sign up for that fucking TT. I would do it. I wanted to do it as my punishment on the old school TT bike. I should ask him.
I like the drinking on the bike.
Are we leaning towards that for the punishment?
I think so. What do you guys think?
The beer mile?
There we go. I
you
don't
got
have
the
to do
camera?
it.
Yeah.
I'll do
Jack and I have to do it.
Yeah.
4 mile beer, 4 mile. Jack, when
on
you
the road, right?
No, it's on the trainer.
God, you're such a pussy.
I'm not drinking 4 beers and drive in traffic.
Fuck, I could. I'm.
And we'll let Sam choose the beer that you drink.
Oh.
Oh no.
Jack, when you're here next week?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I have two Wahoo trainers. We might have to set side by side.
Will it scratch my bike?
No, you're going to be on a trainer unless you.
It doesn't
fall
matter.
off
It's a
the
disc
bike.
brake bike anyway. So.
All right.
All right, there you go, everybody. We might have to not only videotape it but live stream the entire beer 4 mile. It's 4 miles. You drink a beer every mile.
There you go.
You pound a
It
beer
seems
every 4
wrong
miles.
to not be moving down the road.
Yeah, it's called drinking and driving, and it's illegal.
Yeah, that's a DUI.
Yeah, exactly.
Even on a bike.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, the technicality.
Yeah.
Rules, schmools. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Brings us to the end of another Packfiller podcast. I believe we have something to look forward to in the future, other than the fact that next week is going to be a Vuelta preview show because it's time for our last 3-week grand tour of the year. Are you guys motivated for it? Am I the only one who's just trying to find myself back? Really?
Oh, no. I'm ready.
Because I'm like, Giro, yes, first one, tour, holy shit.
Vuelta is like the best fought
All right.
Grand Tour.
I'm in.
You watch. It's hard to predict.
Okay, there we go. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we will talk to you next week. There we go.